Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today, we're going to be talking about Vinco Ventures. Now, we did talk about BBIG before, but today we're adding new pieces of due diligence towards this one, technical analysis on what I think is going to happen in the next few days. My last video where I did talk about massive growth has seen a tremendous amount of support, and we've seen already a stock which jumped almost 120% from the last video towards the after hours today. So let's jump right into this one. So Vinco Ventures, or BBIG. Now the latest news, or if you don't know about this one actually, in fact first, these guys are trying to go towards a digital market for either social media, social pulse, or even just into digital streaming. Now the latest digital streaming goes towards the digital streaming relating towards NFTs. So they're using NFTs technology towards digital streaming. And so one of the artists here, Tory Lanez, he's already known outside the NFT stream. I mean, he's one of the names that have really risen in 2022, 2021. And if we were to talk about what's happening here is that there's tremendous success. They sold around 1 million album NFTs for $1, and currently the low is around $5, so that's around 500%. And these prices started showing up on the high end, going almost to around $99 million. So that is a little bit wishful, but appears that a lot of people are thinking they can be millionaires and multi-millionaires just by selling it at that level. Now, it could be later on in 10 years or 5 years or 3 years or 2 years or 1 week where the price skyrockets into that. I've seen anywhere between thousands of dollars to $5. So currently the lower point is around $5. And what we're talking about here is the success that this has led for Tory Lanez and Vinco Ventures, and that will probably bring in more people, more artists into the game. So we did talk about this. Now, with the stock raising up to almost $8, around $7.50 in the after hours, there's something we need to discuss. How high can it actually go and what's happening here as we go forward? Now, in terms of the SEC filing, keep in mind that their total assets is around $121 million. Meanwhile, their total liabilities is around $150 million. Now, what's the biggest thing that they have? Well, in terms of total liabilities, currently warrants isn't, but if you're able to see, for instance, things like convertible notes, you're able to see that's getting around 267,000 over here. And then some of it is line of credits, account payables, but the warrants aren't taking a massive portion of that total liabilities. However, if you were to take a look into an 8K previously, there's a lot of warrants here that are either exercisable at $2 per share for 15 million shares, around another 18.568 million at 3.722 per share, and around a lot more, I think more going on around 330 per share, so I don't think we have an amount for that. But another one here around $120 million worth of senior convertible notes for purchase price of around $100 million and warrants around $4 per share. Now there's other ones as well at 2655 per share. That's around 20.5 million shares and 2 million shares. So why am I actually letting you know about this one? Well, a big part of this one here is there's a lot of, or a strong probability that these people holding the warrants are going to exercise them now that the stock is almost at $8. Because previously, I mean, if you were to take a look in the previous days, it was around 290, and now it's around 730-ish in the after hours. That means that 3722 is now profitable, really profitable, and the $4 per share warrants are profitable, almost at double. So a lot of these money, or a lot of these stocks, or a lot of these warrants are going to be exercised into stocks and sold. And who bears that kind of payout? Well, it's going to be the stock itself. The company itself will take a hit onto this one, and that will show into the next quarter. Now, I'm not trying to scare you away from this one. I still am very bullish relating towards Vinco Ventures. I'm just trying to give you a bit more of a realistic, balanced overview into what's happening here in the next quarter. So keep in mind that these warrants will get exercised. It will show into the next quarter, and that might impact their earnings or the net revenue into the next earning, especially as well their EBITDA. Now, before moving on forward, if you would like to see more content like this, make sure to click the subscribe button on the bottom right corner and leave notifications on. Also, don't forget to drop the like button down below. If you're on mobile, all or both of these should be on the bottom down. And if you would like to join our Discord, it's in the description below. Now, on the institutional buyers, you're able to see that they're mixed. For instance, Blackstone Alternative Investment shorted on the 27 around 1,300 shares. I hope they did short it early on, because that would really make them burn in terms of the stock. I mean, it's gone around from $5, I believe, to $7 something in the after hours. So they're already losing on to this one. Not a massive position, but Morgan Stanley, for instance, added 73,000 shares, and other companies have been adding generally, as you get to see. Hudson Capital, around 186,000 shares. Citadel Advisors added their shares to a total of around 346,000 shares. So it's definitely starting to look bullish here as well. Now let's move on towards technical analysis quickly to discuss where the levels of support and resistances are most likely going to be. From a technical analysis, of course, because of everything that we've seen relating towards the success of ENFT.com, we're going to see a really strong bullish action on all moving averages. Now on the willing percent R, yes, it's overbought. There's a lot more buyers stress relating towards buying than selling. And in terms of the momentum, of course, it's going to be one of the strongest momentums you've ever seen, around 227, and that is as well due to the massive bullish candle where we're going on from almost 333 all the way to $7 after hours. And in terms of the MACD, this is a very bullish action, strong momentum, and everything looks bullish. Now, you don't need a genius to tell you that, but in terms of the stochastic fast and stochastic slow, both are pinpointing upwards, showing there might be another leg up for this one, which is very interesting for this one as well. But here's one thing I do want to talk about is volumes. This is the highest volume it ever recorded, ever. Now, the last time it recorded such volume, it fell a little bit short until the next day, and it dropped down to around 489 from 940 on the day before. So you need to be very careful, and we'll talk about a little bit of the supports and resistances and what I think is going to happen in the next few days. Well, currently the Bollinger Bands is around 417 and 176. They're expanding significantly, but usually what happens when a stock jumps this high, the Bollinger Bands continues to expand to a higher level. Now, in terms of Fibonacci retracements, and that might sound like all gibberish for you, but these are technical indicators and kind of key indicators that institutional buyers use it. And I do anticipate that a lot of them, or a lot of traders, institutional buyers, are looking to short sell this one for the reason that they think it's not worth that much at this level, or it's an exaggerated news. So this Fibonacci retracements gives you these key supports, levels, and resistances. So currently the resistance is at 785 on the Fibonacci retracements. Onto the 1 hour perspective, that's 662, 566, 498, 431, 347, and 212. Now I do want to kind of highlight some key supports and resistances that we've seen in this move. As you get to see, there's not even a one red candle, but there is currently support at the 730 and then the 690, and then from there on around 559, and then from there on around 532, and then going to 497. Basically each end of candle is one of a support. Now if we were to take a look into a 1 day perspective, we're going to see some previous supports and resistances that we're more interested in. So a lot of these are actually going to be supports. If we go even back further, all these supports. Currently, the only resistance we can see on the chart is the 940 level. So there might be actually another leg up for this one, because between now and the 940, it's a clear go. And I'll talk about how that might happen. But the supports here on the 1 day is 603, going down to 540, 503, going down to 462, going down to 446, 406, going down to 365, and then 322, going to 292, and around 268. Now comes to the question to Ed. What do you think is going to happen here? Now, from my own experience, a stock like this where it doesn't come up with massive news, I mean, the Vinco Ventures, the ENFT success, I do think that's massive success. It will bring more albums coming in, a lot of artists that are going to come in. Tory Lanez is not someone out of the street, I mean, not someone just around a corner selling albums and basically from his car. This is a person who's an artist that already has massive albums and a lot of listeners. So that created a lot of buzz, a lot of media buzz, basically creating the NFT place into album holders, and it's kind of a really successful experiment from my own perspective. I can't wait to see how much they're going to get out of it in terms of proceeds. But here is what I really think is going to happen in the next few days. I think, and this is all from, by the way, from what I believe is my opinion, so don't trade based on it. You have to think about your own trades. Now, I do believe that this one will go ahead and will come very close to the 940 in that morning or in the early hours. Later on in the day, it's going to probably stabilize. It probably will fall closer to the $6 level. The reason why I'm talking about this one is because there's massive volume, and previously that happened before. But there is also another chance, and this one here is fueled by short sellers if it does occur. If there's a lot of short sellers, and I do anticipate there might be, we don't have exact accurate data for that, but it might actually continue on and break new records. So it really depends on the retail, but most likely what's going to happen, and this is where you can put your basically stop losses or stop orders, because sometimes, by the way, it might actually go ahead and just freeze or halt on the way down or on the way up. So keep in mind, stop losses don't really work that way, but I do anticipate for it to open a little bit higher and then drop, and that is a higher chance, but there's a lower chance where it continues to skyrocket into perhaps above the $10 throughout the day, and it could be more of a continuation of a growth from retail. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.